Good morning students. Our chapter number 10, Respiration in Organisms is going on. In the first two periods, we learn about cellular respiration, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, how our body respire anaerobically, how we get muscle cramp and how to get relief from muscle cramp. Then we learn about mechanism of breathing, breathing rate and how breathing rate it changes by different activities. Then we learn about why we sneeze. Up to activity 10.4 we completed in the last period. Today we will see the remaining part of this chapter. Now see our next point, activity 10.4 in the breathing mechanism. Now see activity 10.4, simple activity it is. Take a deep breath. Measure the size of chest with the measuring tape. For this activity, measuring tape is required. Measuring tape is required. You can do this activity in your home also with your friends. Take a deep breath. Measure the size of chest with the measuring tape and record your observation in table 10.2. Here downside table 10.2 already mentioned here. Now see what is table 10.2. Effect of breathing on the chest size of some classmate. Name of the classmate, here size of the chest you have to mention in the centimeter, during inhalation, during exhalation and difference between both of them. Now see the activity. Take a deep breath, measure the size of chest with a measuring tape and record your observation in table 10.2. Measure the size of chest again when expanded and indicate which classmate shows the maximum expansion of the chest. Maximum expansion of the chest. When you fill that table, that time you understand that which classmate shows the maximum expansion of the chest. When inhalation, during inhalation you have to calculate, you have to measure the size of the chest, and during exhalation also you have to measure the size of the chest and you have to calculate the difference between the inhalation and exhalation. Then we can understand the mechanism breathing by a simple model, which is we will learn in activity 10.5. Now see here first figure 10.5. Figure 10.5, mechanism of breathing in human being. Now first diagram which shows inhalation. What will be happen during the inhalation? When we inhale the air, that time air will be drawn in the lungs, air will be comes inside the lungs. That's why ribs moves out, and diaphragms moves down. Here see air, ज्यावेळेस आपण एअर आतमध्ये घेतो, हवा आतमध्ये घेतो, त्यावेळेस काय होतं, फुफ्फुसांमध्ये हवा भरली जाते, त्यामुळे छाती फुगते आणि डायफ्राम खाली जातो. एअर प्रेशर मध्ये डायफ्राम काय होतो, खाली जातो. सेम इन द नेक्स्ट एक्झलेशन, व्हॉट हॅपन, एअर फोर्स आउट, एअर काय होते, बाहेर फेकली जाते, हवा बाहेर फेकली जाते लंग्स मधून. त्यामुळे काय होतं, लंग्स त्यांच्या नॉर्मल पोझिशनला येतात, त्यामुळे रिप्स सुद्धा काय होते, ती नॉर्मल पोझिशनला येते आणि डायफ्राम जो खाली गेलेला असतो तो वरती जातो. एअर प्रेशर रिलीज आउट होतं त्यामुळे तो वरती जातो. नाउ सी activity 10.5. activity 10.5, for that you have to see this diagram. I will tell you what we have to do in this activity. Activity 10.5. Take a white plastic bottle. You can see in the image also, on the screen also. Take a white plastic bottle. Remove the bottom. You have to cut the bottom of that plastic. Get Y-shaped glass or plastic tube. You can see in the image also, Y-shaped. Make the hole in the lid so that the tube may pass through it. Upper side lid was there. It can passes from the lid and to the fork end of the tube. Fix two deflated balloons. Two balloons are there. Two balloons are fixed at the end of that Y-shaped plastic tube. Then introduce the tube into the bottle as shown in figure 10.7. Here you can see the 10.7, which is model to show the mechanism of breathing. We are finding out how the mechanism of breathing is going on. Now cap the bottle. And seal it. Make it airtight. To the open base of the bottle, tie thin rubber or plastic sheet. Downside, here already mentioned rubber sheet. Rubber sheet we have to use to the open base of the bottle. Tie the thin rubber or plastic sheet using a large rubber band. A large rubber band we are using downside. Now, to understand the expansion of the lungs, pull the rubber sheet from the base downwards and watch the balloons next. Push the rubber plastic sheet up and observe the balloons. Did you see any changes in the balloons? Now see, when we when we pull the rubber sheet in the first figure, see, when we pull the rubber sheet, that time what happened, the balloons which are attached to the y-shaped plastic tube, it will be it will be it contains air in that, and when we push the rubber or plastic sheet up in the upward direction, that time what happen, air from that balloon will be released. Did you see any changes? Yes, we can see the changes. You can see in the image also, when we pull the rubber sheet, that time air will be arrived in that particular two balloons, and when we push the rubber or plastic sheet in upward direction, that time what happen, air from that balloon will be released in the atmosphere. What do the balloons in this model represent? What do the balloons in this model represent? Like lungs, they represent lungs. And what does the rubber sheet represent? Rubber sheet represent as a diaphragm. How? See here. Here you can see, in an inhalation, what happen in the inhalation, air draws in, that's why air lungs will be expanded, and ribs moves out, then diaphragm moves down. Here in the same way that rubber sheet will be moves down, and that's why balloon gets air in that. And here in the exhalation, what happen, air is forcefully forced out, and ribs moves back like in a balloon. When the rubber sheet will be pushed in upward direction, that time what happen, airs from the balloons will be released in the atmosphere. See, in the same way that the rubber sheet, which is represent diaphragm, and balloons, which is represent lungs. Now you should be able to explain the mechanism of breathing. From that activity you can able to explain the mechanism of breathing. Now the next one, what do we breathe out? Now for this, another one activity was that activity 10.6. Take a slender clean test tube or glass plastic bottle, slender, slim, sad patal. Take a slender clean test tube or a glass plastic bottle, make a hole in its lid and fix it on the and pour some freshly prepared lime water, चुन्याचं पाणी, in the test tube. Insert the plastic straw through the hole in the lid in such a way that it dips in a lime water. Now blow gently through the straw a few times, which is shown in figure 10.8. Is there a change in the appearance of lime water? If there is a change in the lime water, and can you explain this change on the basis of what you learn in chapter 6? Now you see the first figure. Here it is figure. Effect of exhaled air on lime water. And in this activity, what we are doing, take a slender clean test tube. We have to take one clean test tube. You can see in the image also. Very simple activity it is. We have to take a test tube, a small test tube. Make a hole in its lid and fix into the bottle. And pour some freshly prepared lime water. We have to prepare a lime water, चुन्याचं पाणी, lime water in the test tube, and insert the plastic straw. You can see in the image also, plastic straw is required through the hole in the lid. In such a way that it dips in the lime water. It can be deep into the lime water. Now blow gently through the straw. काय करायचे, हवा फुंकायची त्यामध्ये, exhaled air. Now blow gently through the straw a few times, which is shown in figure 10.8. Is there change in the appearance of lime water? Yes, the color of the lime water will be changes. And can you explain this change on the basis of what you learn in a chapter 6? It is a chemical change. Now you are aware that air we inhale or exhale is a mixture of gases. And what do we exhale? Yes, we can aware about that. When we inhale air, it is a mixture of gases, and when we exhale, that time also it is a mixture of gases. And what do we exhale? Do we exhale only carbon dioxide or a mixture of gases along with it? Yes, we exhale carbon dioxide also and mixture of gases also. You must have also observed that if you exhale on a mirror, a film of moisture appears on its surface. Film of moisture appears on its surface, and from where do we think these droplets comes from? From the lungs. Moisture will be comes from the lungs and water which is present in our mouth. Now when we exhale air, when we exhale air is blown through lime water, the carbon dioxide, how it is in a different change, how it is in a chemical change, I will tell you. First, there is a change in the appearance of lime water. Yes, there is a change in the appearance of lime water. And one question was there, can you explain this change on the basis of basis of what you learn in a chapter 6? In chapter 6, our chapter 6 is physical change and chemical change. In that we learn one new substance will be formed in the chemical change. Here I will tell you what will be happen in that. When exhaled air is blown through the lime water, the carbon dioxide present in the exhaled air reacts with the lime water and turns it into a milky solution. And since the carbon dioxide reacts with calcium hydroxide, which is also called as a lime water, and forms calcium carbonate, which is white in color, and new product will be formed. That's why it is called as a chemical change. Here moisture also will be present. Now downside, one question was there, Bojo wants to know how much air a person can hold in the lungs. The average total of the lung capacity of an adult human male is about 6 liter of air. 6 liter of air an adult person can hold in his lungs. Now here the most important definition was given, the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in inhaled and exhaled air. Now we inhale the air, that time 21% oxygen was there in the air which we inhale. 21% oxygen was there and 0.04% carbon dioxide was present. 0.04% carbon dioxide was there. And when we exhaled air, that time that air contains 16.4% oxygen. 16.4% oxygen and 4.4% carbon dioxide. 4.4% carbon dioxide. Now see properly. When we inhale the air, that time air contains 21% oxygen and 0.04% carbon dioxide. But when we exhaled air, that time air contains 16.4% oxygen. It means when we inhale the air, that time oxygen quantity will be more, but when we exhaled air, that time oxygen quantity will be reduced. And in exhaled air, it contains 4.4% carbon dioxide. It means related with the inhaled air, it contains 0.04% carbon dioxide, and when we exhaled air, that time its quantity will be increases. It increases up to 4.4%. 4.4% carbon dioxide will be present in the exhaled air. Today up to this we covered. Remaining part we will see in the next period.